Now in this video, we're going to be looking on how to use the average function. All it does is average the values that you've provided to it, just like you would in your calculator. In this instance, it would look like this. In your calculator, you type in parentheses since there's we're gonna have to divide everything, but first add it. It's gonna be 419 plus 584. I'm gonna go through the full thing just so everybody understands what's going on. 775 plus 706. Great. We're going to close the parentheses and then we're going to divide by our number of values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's how you type it in your calculator. Does it work? Absolutely. But there's a more efficient ways to do it. Number one, in our big fancy calculator, this cell understands that this is a computation or a calculation, so we can just put the equal sign in front of it and it'll know, hey, I've got to do this action for you. And it'll give us our number. We're going to change it to make it look all pretty with the accounting look. So, but let's do that here with the average function. We don't have to type everything out. We can reference our items here. So let's type in equals average and then open parentheses. And then it's going to ask you for what the arguments are, or what you need in order to make the average function work. Another way to select the average function, type A, and if it's up here, you can just press tab. That'll open it up. You can type the whole thing out as before, or you can, just type it all out. Super easy, multiple different ways to do it, and as long as you get here, you're chilling, you're good. So we're going to have our first number, comma, second number, comma, third comma, fourth, fifth, sixth. And it's going to know, add up all those just like we did here and divide them by 6 because that's how many units we have. Let's enter and we see we get the same exact answer. But doing that is very inefficient because though we are referencing, which is great, we always want to reference cells. We almost never want to type anything in, but we'd have to put a comma in between each of those values. So instead, let's go back to the beginning of our average function. Let's go to the very beginning once more. Equals average. I'm pressing the tab button here, and you see it'll automatically have it ready for me. We can reference by clicking and dragging as we keep the mouse down, and you see this will automatically know it's a range, or from C3 to C8, which is right here. We're going to press the closed parentheses and press enter, and we see we get the same value. This is probably the easiest way to do things and the most efficient. You can also type it in. Let's say it went from like C3 to C17 and you didn't want to have to drag all the way like this. So we can type it in as well. C3, it'll highlight for us, colon, C8, I believe. Yes, C8. And there you go. And even though you're not using number 2, you're only technically in number 1, it understands exactly what you're talking about and it'll do it for you. We press enter, you see you get 576. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to just put this over here. And now we're going to assume we have this value as well. I mean, we can't, if we wanted to get these values and these values, we can't just go like this and click it again. You see, it'll overwrite our current stuff, our current input, and that's not good. So what we're going to do is we're going to highlight our first set, or we can type it in, whichever you prefer, press the comma button, and then it'll go to what is our second range of numbers, what's our second number, or what's the second thing we want to deal with. So we're going to take that and press the enter button, and you'll see it's the same, of course, because it's going to be the same. The sum of these below adds to the exact same amount, and then we just have twice the number, so it would be the same, dividing the same amount by. So that's how you use the average function. Notice always we have dynamic ranges. So let's get rid of this real quick, and we'll get rid of this I3 or this reference, the stuff that we just referenced. We don't need it anymore. We're going to press enter, 580.67. Notice, let's say for June, we had a different number. We had 790 difference. See, it automatically updates every single time. This one, you'd have to go back in here, press 790, and then we'll get our answer. See how much easier this is? So that's how the average function works. I highly recommend that you start using it if you can find a use for it. I found plenty of uses for it, and we'll get more complicated in the future with average ifs and all that kind of stuff, which are even more helpful in my opinion. Hopefully you have a good day.